Sikutarajia kuwa mbali na wewe, akimeniacha babaya. Kutengana na wewe imenibadilisha sana, nimetamani nilewe akina kukosana na wewe, sikutarajia kuwa mbali na wewe, akimeniacha babaya. Kutengana na wewe imenibadilisha sana, nimetamani nilewe akina kunyama sasa mataambia ni watu wengine. Hayo mapenzi yalinoga na kumbuka tulipeana majini. Yo baby kesho tomato mtandao ikaleta vitino. Ukawa uambiliki na mikichwa changu na kikavimba. Nikawa sisemezeki inauma lakini nitazoea. Inauma lakini nitazoea. Aliyamwanadamu duniani ni kuzoea. Aliya binadamu duniani ni kuzoea. Tunashindwa. Densi tulikamata hadi usiku wa manane. Kesi tutakubali tutapendana milele. Nyimbo tulizopenda zanikumbusha wewe. Kamisi na baika mkuacha na nusanga nyo milani. Taambia mimi watu Regina. Haya mapenzi yalinoga na kumbuka tukiyapata na bia. Pate sheka ni gani yalituingilia. Akatuweka sana hilo kito bali menifikisha. I'll never love another inauma lakini itazo. Yes, karibuni sana family to yet another beautiful episode of the Pan-African Bliss right here on the Black Fire Network Media for the 21st century. I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning, a wonderful night. You've had a wonderful night, rather regarding whatever the time is on your end. Thank you so much for keeping it the Black Fire Network. Good afternoon. It is exactly 16 minutes past 1 p.m. right here on my end. And of course, I know I had lighted you on the WhatsApp chat that we shall be having power cuts till the end of the day, but apparently
God is good, or should I say, Jesus did his magic, and of course, the lights are back. And I'm glad to be bringing this amazing broadcast unto you. Kindly, as you tune in, remember to click that like button. It doesn't cost you a dime. It's just stretching your finger. Click that like button and get to enjoy the vibes and learn something one, two, or three regarding the African continent. This is the media for the 21st century. It's all about listening, engaging, and transforming. But we say, like we say every day, the most important thing is creating unity, which is actually the main focus of the day today, according to what I want to be discussing. When it comes to the division of African people all over the world, the serious repercussions that we need to literally apply on this, there have been serious repercussions literally that have applied to this. That is what I really mean. There have been serious repercussions on the African division, and we need to break that down bit by bit, because this is really important. Remember, everything that is happening affecting us is all done by the white supremacy, and they are doing this to destroy only one person, and it uses you as an African person wherever you are, whether you are in Nigeria, whether you are in wherever you are. And it is so sad to see that literally, when you speak about Nigerians, I was watching something very interesting that actually about this lady who has broken a record of cooking for over 100 hours. And I'm like, how is that possible? It's not making sense at all, but we shall be getting into that. But I saw one of the ladies congratulating, and she's like, this coming from Nigeria. And I'm like, this is the problem why Africans will never be able to go far, because you see yourself as a different person instead of literally acknowledging the African people at literally, how should I say, as a whole. The one you want to put tribalism and everything in between. But anyway, we shall be getting deeper into that. We shall be focusing on the call for unity for Africans and the African continent itself. And of course, I'll be sharing a couple of videos, rather one video of our previous presidents and our current president, who are also calling for the unity of Africa. But are they really willing to apply this procedure into, into actions? Are they willing to let go of all the white, the British, you know, rules and everything, education, the system, what we were talking about yesterday? Are they willing to change Africa by doing the right thing step by step? Because you can't just wake up and say, I want to create create the African unity, but I still want to educate my students or my people the British education. You are doing zero work. And of course, we'll be getting into that. But yes, that is BN with Inauma. And of course, this is one of my favorite bangers. And I don't know, I just feel so blessed. Have you ever felt like something great is just coming into your life, and when you think about literally everything you've been desiring, or rather, when you think about how your life is supposed to pan out, you're just like, your heart is melting? That is how I feel. I feel filled with joy today. I feel so blessed for everything I've achieved, no matter how little. Always celebrate those little winnings, and I'm so glad and proud of myself for this far I've come, and I can't wait to see how far I'll go. And of course, I'll be back with the quote of the day. Kindly stay tuned till the end of the show. K. Williams is in the building. Karibu sana. I'll never love another Yes, I see K. Williams in the building. You're saying, what's up? Good day, Joby. I am doing amazing. I am doing great today. I hope you're doing great to you too, as well at work. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're saying it is exactly about 6:20 right now a.m. on your end. Thank you so much for keeping it the Black of Fire Network. For the love and support, always, you are appreciated. Alia binadamu duniani ni kuzoea. Aliyeona duniani ni kuzoea. Ninashindwa. Yes, and my quote of the day today says, I am stepping into the most successful decade of my life. Literally, I'm just giving what I feel. Literally, this how I feel. I feel like I'm gonna be stepping into another beautiful, most successful decade of my life. And I'm just literally giving the same unto you. Live in abundance. I love this when Keith says this. We live in abundance. Live in abundance, literally just speak high of yourself, speak high of your life. Don't literally lower your vibrations telling yourself how you can and can't. That is literally my quote of the day, and I hope you stay blessed with that amazing one over there. But yes, one more banger, and of course we'll be back as we start with our show of today. This is Diana Code, and like I said, we shall be having an amazing discussion, so kindly stay tuned till the end of the show.
Mgenje asitujaka na manjege hata kaboko kinenge atuiganji kwa kibenje undercover na kamenje bala klava paka stenje kg3 p3 jufala litoko gatenje na ronde nadai kumuka ka nonsense nadai moroto finances nadai mbona na asset ndio nikisema kama commercialite kaputio kama na operate sasa sana celebrate nafanya ni different
Washanet Joto Makimoto. Hey, karibuni sana family. Man, I tell you, I feel so excited. This is not usual of me, literally, on Tuesday, especially. I call Tuesdays chill. It's like a chill day. I always compare Tuesdays and Mondays, from the weekend. You're exhausted, a little bit exhausted. You just come. Then on Wednesday, I think that is when things pick up. I don't know about you guys, but that's how personally I always feel. But today, I feel extra energetic, which is amazing. And I hope you literally receive the same energy that I'm giving unto you too, and that you stay at a high positive vibration. That is all I'll say. But yes, karibuni sana once again. This is the Black Fire Network Media for the 21st century. My name is Joby. To the first time listeners and viewers, I hope you guys are getting me loud and clear. In case you are on Facebook, kindly consider following us. In case you are on YouTube, consider subscribing. In case you are part of the family, consider clicking that like button. And of course, thank you so much for the love and support that you have been showing us. The channel is really growing, and I'm so literally happy to see our information is being passed outside there for the few get to listen to it, and of course for those who keep on coming back, which is the most important thing. We appreciate you so much. In case you all joining us for the first time, you can also join us officially and be part of the family by downloading our app on the Google Play Store. In case you have an iPhone, kindly go to www.blackwatchfirenetwork.com and sign in using your name, and you'll be able to get notified every time we're also going and streaming live over there, because we do have those sessions every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. The Fridays, all the shows are aired on the website. This is only the media where we get to spit the truth. Okay, but yes, karibuni sana. Like I said, today our focus shall be going into the call for unity, and this is actually for Africans and Africa. But before I get to share a couple of videos and articles that I have, these literally we shall be joining dots by dots with why I'm driving this topic onto, because if you look at how the rule of Africa has been set up, and we keep on talking about this every single day, the rules, the division of the borders, the languages we have right now, people being so tribal, the rules out there, when you go to the hospital, when you go to these government offices, every rule that has been set was not set by the African people themselves. It was set by people who came from the outside the African continent, came and invaded, and not only did they invade, a lot of people's lives were costed, literally were on the line. We're talking about slavery. We're talking about a lot of things that is not taught, especially when it comes to the African history and education. And I'm like, when I discuss about this, because I think my focus shall be going especially to our president, that is William Ruto, our current president. And I've seen him also calling out for the literally unity of African people. And one of the things that I've seen he has done is that Kenya actually has, and it's not only Kenya, we also saw that they also did this in South Africa. In South Africa, Kenyans are allowed to travel visa free, but I think it was for a period of time. I'm going to confirm that. I think it was for a period of time. I can't really say what discussion Ramaphosa and excuse me, and William Ruto had for them to literally have this sort of agreement. It was just for a 3 months period, and then that chance was literally, it was called off. I'll be able to get to confirm if it is still on, because I think recently I saw that they renewed it again. I don't know what deal is really going on between South Africa and Kenya, but I've seen that right now Kenya and Somalia for themselves, they have literally called off for they're calling out for the border to be reopened, so that they can be able to. This is actually opening the border, just opening the border, not where you can be able to go to Somalia without having your passport or your ID. It's just calling for the border, for the reopening. And the main reason they're saying that this was actually done is because of the so-called, we know, the Al-Shabaab, and we know who's funding all this. We were talking about the funding and the genocide of the African people yesterday. And we saw that most of these fundings that happen, it is still done by the same people who have set these rules that are not working for Africans. They have set up these rules and they have funded all these even wars, despite putting the borders. And that's why I'm going to take us back to what I was saying yesterday. If you look at Africa, literally, if it is destroying Africa, we're being destroyed every single day. Agree with me or not? Every single day. In little ways that we can barely recognize as well. Literally. So what is happening? Let me get to read this article. They're saying that the Kenyan government has agreed to reopen its official borders crossing with Somalia in the coming 90 days. And the border was closed in 2011 over insecurity when Kenyans was launching Operation Linda Nchi to fight the influx of Al-Shabaab activities in the country. And its opening will improve socio-economy development, which is a lie, one. And in the region, as security agencies in both countries promise to beef up security and to prevent an influx of irregular migrants, in particular the Al-Shabaab militia, into the country, and the smuggling of goods and individuals in both countries. One, it's a lie. The reason why I don't understand, because this is actually not, leave alone the war. Look at when we had the pandemic. I think you saw how many people had to be stuck in other countries because of a certain propaganda and fear agenda that was displayed on Africans not to be able to move. They fund every project which is supposed to distract the lives of African people. And also, not only are they doing that, they have taken control. To this point, is that this taking control of the movement of the people. Because why do we have these borders? I'm supposed to move freely to Uganda. I'm supposed to communicate with my fellow Africans. And this is why we've been denied history of also what other people in other African countries, what they experience because of this border. I can't go to Uganda. I can't go to Tanzania if I don't have a passport. And to get a passport is either it's going to take long, or it's either you need to bribe people. Still, by bribing, go back to the factory setting. Who did set up these rules of bribing? Why do we need to bribe in our own country, our own continent? To go hang out with my fellow African people, I need to pay for it. Well, it's supposed to be very, very cheap, where people can afford it, learn history, and a lot more that we know Africa is blessed with, despite the negativities at this point. Because if you look at the borders personally, it's not just, it's more than division, family. It's more than just you not being able to go to Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria, and all that, to be able to, to be able to, how should I say, explore, get knowledge. Because the more you travel, the more your mind also, like, it's getting exposed, and you're gaining knowledge in different ways on how you can literally either invest, either communicate, or 1, 2, 3. There's something into traveling. There's something. It's not in vain. And personally, I'm glad that I always say I don't want to travel for no goddamn reason. I want to travel in where I'm going to either acquire knowledge in terms of business. It's either I'm growing as a person. And by growth, it's either there's something that has taken me there that is so important, and it's literally generating an income. but not just to go chill somewhere for free. As I chill, as I work, I wanna be able to gather all that and let it be resourceful, let it be helpful to me. That is me. I remember I was telling someone, I remember we were having this discussion on one weekend with a friend, and I was like, we were discussing about going to South Africa, and I was like, you want to just go to South Africa for free? Like, do you just want to go wake up? You say you want to go to South Africa for free, like you don't have no purpose. Like for me, my purpose is looking for my husband, right? And I have a purpose, yeah. And not only that, I see. Look, the industry. This industry that we are in, there's a lot of opportunity in these other countries. I don't want to travel for no even. But that aside, that is not what we're talking about. The borders have limited us, especially I think in terms of knowledge. Knowledge. When you go to Nigeria, there's history. When you go to Ghana, there's history. When you go to Jamaica, there's history. When you go to literally every African country, there's history and the effect of the white man. But all we grow up knowing is either one history of only one country. Unless you, like, you get to dig a lot of information right now because we have internet. You ask, you get to ask Google what happened in Nigeria, what is this, how did this occur, and of which most of it is lies. Most of us are limited to information and to the true history of African people. What really led to all this? Nobody speaks about it. Kudos to Uhuru Kenyatta telling us that, we need to get rid of these borders. So is Ruto. But yes, what have you done? Because it's not going to be possible to literally just break borders without dealing with the situations we have inside our own countries. Within our own countries, we have a lot going on. We have a lot of setup system, a lot of laws, a lot of, how should I call it, rules that have been set there by the white man, not by the African people. And none of this is working for the African people. So we need to have a factory. We need to reset everything. We need to reset everything, starting from education, coming to medication, coming to spirituality and religion, and a lot more. We have been, I don't know, we have been lost within information. We've been indoctrinated through information. Because like I said yesterday, and Katie repeated it, we've been given something, like we want to believe and dwell on one thing. Like what we grew up with, and what the society says, what the government says, that is the final say. But nobody wants to seek information. And we've seen, when you try to seek information and try to educate your own people, you are a threat to the society. And it takes me back to what I was asking last week. Till when will you be scared? Because you see people like Professor Lumumba, you see people like Dr. Arikana. We see that these other guys and so many other people are giving information who are aware of our division of the African people. It's affecting us on a daily. But they can't apply all this. So who's going to apply it? Who is really going to do this? Who is really going to do this? And that's why I'm saying we need to start within the country. We can't start breaking the borders without dealing with the country, one country at a time. Get rid of tribalism. Get rid of the education system that has been set here and reset it. Get rid of the religion, the fake religion, which not so many African people are willing to let go. Man, leave alone education. If there's one thing that I know it's going to be hard to break in Africa, it's religion. Because this is wasting people so bad. It has wasted Africans' mentality. We don't reason beyond Jesus. Nobody reasons beyond praying and fasting. Everybody's dwelling on prayers by kneeling down, but not going to work. You'd rather be reading the Bible the whole day, waiting for Jesus to do a miracle. Who told you success comes just when you're seated? You just sit down and then money poof, it just appears in your M-Pesa, like the way they're lying to you in the churches. Just look at your M-Pesa. In the next few minutes, you're gonna be having $2 or $5, and it's the same congregation that has your number. They're doing that magic and lying to you that we know Jesus did it. How? We need to wake up. Coming back to what is going on in Kenya and Somalia, I'm not approving this reopening of it's good to reopen the borders. But personally, like I said, it will be more than just reopening and closing of the borders. We need to do a lot more. We need to put a lot of effort than this, which takes me also to what I'm seeing right now. Rwanda, DRC Congo are supposed to come, the presidents are supposed to come to Kenya and talk over matters of the refugees. Okay? Why do we have refugees? Why is it when I go to Uganda, I'm a refugee? Or I'm a, literally, that is, why is it that it's always like that? And I grew up listening to this, especially the Somali people, right? I used to hear people calling Somalis refugees. And I'm like, okay, is it because they're coming from another country? So that's how we call them. Okay, let's go along. Again, like we said, nobody wants to seek information. So you want to go along with everything that you're told, not knowing that all the information left behind here, it's all lies. I grew up knowing Somalis are refugees, but are they? No. They're part of Africa. The real Somali people. Not the blending that we have now from Ethiopia and other countries. The real Somali. I had a stepdad who was Ugandan. I used to literally think he's a refugee. I'm like, nah, this guy is not from our country, so hey, he's a refugee. If you meet any other person from another African country, they are refugees. Why are they not Africans? Why is it that we can't see ourselves as same people? Go back to indoctrination, the division, tribalism, because it's a lot more. Religion, again, look at now, like a country like Nigeria, we have Muslims and Christians, and you see right now, even it has gotten to the point where Africans now are fighting against each other when it comes even to religion. The Muslims are going to be fighting the Christians are fighting the Muslims. What's the end? What is the results of it? African people are dead. It's not Muslim people are dead. It's not Christian people are dead. It's not the Igbo. It's not the Borana. It's not the what. It's African people. That's the end of the results. That is what the white people really want. You have the white woman. That is what they want to see. Us shedding blood of each other. Like killing each other. It costs more. So yeah, it's good. The reopening of the border, it's nice. Of course, some businesses, because I do believe Kenya and Somalia, like I do know some people who have businesses right here in Kenya. Most of them get their goods from Somali. There are those who get from their goods from here. It's good when it comes to trading and all that, but we need more than that. We need more than that. Let me share this video, yeah? The reason why I'm saying this, as we get more into it, this was our president, William Ruto. Of course, also our previous president, Uhuru Kenyatta. And of course, these are videos of kids shared with me some time back about Uhuru Kenyatta saying about countries being calling out, like calling up of the borders. We need to understand that this system, it's not us who did set up this system. We need to set up a system that works for us, in our favor. Man, the way I love the beach, I have to bribe 100 miles for me to go to the beach in Tanzania. I didn't even know Ghana had a beach. I was so amazed. And man, I'm so interested to go into Ghana only on that beach, nowhere else. Nowhere near the bushmeat. Nowhere near that. Just at the beach, But it's so hard because of the system. And these puppet leaders who keep on talking, they're not going to do anything. There's nothing. It's like I said yesterday, Africa, it's like a chess. These people just keep on being moved on and about. They're controlled on what and how to think. Which and what should not work. Who and who should not be employed. Which tribe should lead and which shouldn't. So you can't talk while you can't apply solutions. Karibu sana George Guy, I see you in the building, and to the rest of the family who are here, thank you so much for tuning in. Kindly click that like button. I'm on the watch. And Danny Harrison, thank you so much for tuning in too. You're saying that the first step towards what you're talking about, Joby, is revolution of the mind. I agree. True. Facts. True. And that's why I'm saying we can't even go now starting to approach Tanzania, Uganda. Let me just say the East African countries, yeah. We were saying that now we can start as, we can create unity and show the rest of the countries an example of, what we need to do and become one African continent. We can't be able to go do that when we can't deal with the smallest problems we have in our countries, because there's so many. We need to get rid of tribalism and nationalize one language in each country, which should be Swahili. Let every child be taught Swahili, not mother tongue. Not speaking of mother tongue, like Kagame says, if you're found, you end up in jail. Let there be consequences. Deal with the small details, the small issues you think they ain't issues in your own country, and then the rest of the generation is gonna follow, and it's gonna become now a thing. But with this, just making random decisions, and I always say something about these puppets, right? These people always just talk without even analyzing their minds. Like, you just come up with either some wonderful words, but when it comes to your actions, it's literally zero work. Zero. They just talk for the sake of talking. But yes, I agree with you, true. It needs the revolution of the mind. And that's why I'm saying we need to start with the education, the religion. And when it comes to the religion, that's why I even put a pause, because, man, what we see today, still unbelievable. Having masses of bodies and graves of people being unburied, and most of them being children, and many of them also adults, because the number is still rising of how many people were told to stop because they want to go meet Jesus. That mentality, it needs to be gotten rid of.
Not give credibility or credence to the artificial boundaries that exist. We must not give credibility or credence to the artificial boundaries that exist in our region, a product of a conference in Berlin that had nothing to do with us.
But standard, thank you. This conference is talking about, with how many conferences do we? Let me see, if I have to check how many. I'm certain we have many conferences coming. So many. As we talk, he's supposed to go to South Africa to address the Pan-Africanist Parliament. Do we have a Pan-Africanist Parliament? I didn't know this. How does it work for African people or in the African countries? I want to understand. I didn't know we have a Pan-African Parliament. Apparently, we do. We have a whole Pan-African Parliament in South Africa. Amazing. But how does it serve the African people? In whose favor does it go? Does it literally apply? Who even built this and called it the Pan-Africanist Parliament? Because I'm certain it's none of you puppets, none of you, because you can't barely unite. Tell your people, teach them what you see outside there, because you know who and what you're dealing with. You know the repercussions of everything that happens in your country. Being tribal, you leading by tribe, you know the effects that how you want to keep people dominated, like, you want to keep on dominating people. And then, come on, all this conference that had nothing to do with us, and you always attend them. Every time when we had the King Charles III coronation, those leaders that were called from Africa, they did attend the coronation. But when it comes to Tanzania, Okay, we're back, family. I'm sorry about that. We're having issues with the connectivity, just like yesterday. Electricity, internet, everything is messing up. But anyway, let me share this video I was to share before we get to time we wind up.
The forefront of the fight to remove African borders, and this is evident through the actions of its current and previous presidents. Before I show you President Ruto's, the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, has previously spoken about the need for Africans to open their borders since they were not created by Africans in the first place. Here's what he said a few years ago.
I was telling another gathering, these borders, and I also mentioned to my brother, these borders that you create silos for yourselves amongst, you must always remember, are not your creation. These were creations of people outside the continent.
Facts. And what did you do? You just said you was given the opportunity to become a leader of the country, and you told your people what they need to do. But who's supposed to lead by example? Because I'm just a common Mwananchi. You understand my needs. You understand what affects me. But why can't you apply it when it comes to application of the solution? Why can't you put the solution into actions? Why just talk about it but not literally do anything about it? If we really do understand the effects that the borders have done on us, we should be ready to put some solution into it. Stop talking about it.
Who made these borders not to develop you, but to extract from you. Now that you want to develop yourself, we must start looking at these borders, and we must start removing the barriers that we have put, that have defined us in the past, and now hinder us from being the giant that we should be.
Exactly. The borders define us. The borders define us, because this is why we have Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. When you go to Uganda, you'll be called a Kenyan, not an African person. And it goes way crazy when someone is going to be asking you, which tribe are you from in Kenya? Which tribe do you come from in Kenya? It's crazy. This is totally insane. We need to get rid of this.
This week, the Kenyan president has been vocal about removing barriers in Africa to promote trade and growth within the region, and here is what he had to state.
We must not give credibility or credence to the artificial boundaries that exist in our region, a product of a conference in Berlin that had nothing to do with us, that partitioned our continent and allocated us boundaries that have since become roadblocks and impediments and barriers to the movement of people, the movement of goods, and it is our responsibility.
And let me tell you, the same people talking like this is funny, right? The same people talking like this are the same people who are going to be following the orders of the European, the Western countries, because they did set up these rules. When we're going to be having the next, God knows the next pandemic is pregnant. The baby is just supposed to be delivered. Whatever is going to be born, we don't know. Marburg, whatever is going to be coming, we saw during the pandemic what happened. The borders were all closed. If you really do understand that this is actually an effect of the movement of the people, why close the borders with false red flags and false propagandas? Like, what's with all this? The same people talking like this, trust me, because I'm certain this guy is going to be ruling for 10 years according to what we hear. In the next 10 years, of course, we're about to see what is next. We're going to see what is next. The next thing that is supposed to be given birth to, we don't know what type of destruction it is, but we're going to see the effect of the borders still. We had Magufuli. He was the only person who refused to close his border. He was the only person who told his people the truth behind what is going on in the world. He was the only person who told his people not to wear masks. There's nothing to be scared of. But the rest, they all generated the fear agenda. They used the media sources to literally promote this fear. And what was the effect of it? So many people's lives was distracted. So many businesses fell that cannot even come back into being right now. So many people lost a lot because of that time and movement of people that is literally on someone's arms, just because of the rules they give. You can't whine and not literally dance. You can just whine your mouth and you can't literally do anything about it. Come on, dance to the beat.
In this century, to tear down, to convert the boundaries into bridges, to change the roadblocks into stepping stones so that goods, services, ideas, people can move and we can benefit from.
How do we do this? And when you're sailing away even our own ports, you literally letting the country to be literally continue to be held. You're giving your country into someone's hands to take control of it, including your own ports. You were part of the ports that were sold privately without people knowing. And then you're calling for unity of Africa. Don't seem to amaze me.
The myriad of ideas in different parts of our continent.
The globe. This is a continent of great possibilities and opportunities.
Possibilities that you've given to the white people, the Chinese. Why do we have the Chinese square? Why do we have you giving a 300,000 acres of land to an Italian company? Why do we have you literally going to, I don't know, Germany to meet with some businessmen and telling them to come invest in our country? If you realize this is a continent of great opportunities, why do we have so many jobless youths that are not employed? Today you announce any organization that is literally seeking for employees, we're going to be having hundreds and thousands of people turning out, seeking for job. But we only see only one person is going to be chosen or two out of the 100 those who came for interview. A continent of great opportunities. Why do we have youths? Why do you keep on telling youth opportunities are in Saudi Arabia? Why can't you close these organizations and offices that allow this literally? You take money from citizens and take them to be genocide and killed in other countries. And nobody talks about this. Like we said yesterday, an African person is going to move from the continent seeking for opportunities outside, not knowing that all the opportunities as you leave, they are coming in. When you come back looking for your land, it's gone because you was gone for so long and the white man just took over. And now it's easy and there's nothing we can do about it. It's not you've not made this continent look like it's a continent of opportunities. You've made Africans look stupid. You've made Africans look like, despite the miseducation, you make us look stupid. While most of the people ain't stupid. Not everyone is. We may have the majority so indoctrinated into a lot of nonsense, but people are waking up. People are waking up. And I'll say like Paul Mackenzie, Kitawaramba, it's gonna eat you alive. It's gonna eat you alive. A continent of opportunities. Who sees these opportunities? You do. In the next few years, we're going to be seeing you pot-bellied, like your stomach, it's like you've been swallowing some balloon. But because you've been able to take a lot of money from people's hands. A country of opportunities, why is it that you did actually? Why do we have our tax so high right now? The petroleum tax was increased yesterday. We saw that. And diesel. We have ugali flour. I don't see no subsidies of ugali flour. It's a lie. There's no subsidization of anything that they do. Liars.
These opportunities and possibilities are hindered by bureaucracy, red tape, regulations.
Whose regulations? Because if I look at this country right now, it's being run under your own regulations. People cannot demonstrate at peace because of your regulations. Whose regulations? Apart from you being controlled, we know you as the leader of this country. But come on, gotta be better.
And things that impede our collective progress. I told our teams earlier, we cannot share poverty, but we can share wealth. And
do you do that? Look at this guy. We cannot share poverty, but we can share wealth. Wealth. Have you forgotten what you did in 2007? Why do we have multiple people's lands under your arms and they can't do anything about it? Because they are scared of you, of how powerful you are. It's like what I read yesterday, and I'll repeat it over and over again. What most of our African presidents, especially right here in Kenya, what they'll be remembered for. We saw that Jomo Kenyatta will be remembered as first president of the Republic of Kenya, who took power and grabbed huge pieces of land in this country. So did he, the one in your screen right now. Daniel Moi will be remembered as the longest serving president and his judicial killings, which they all do. Uhuru Kenyatta will be remembered for the collaboration with the opposition leader to loot the economy to the knees. They all do. William Ruto will be remembered as the first deputy president to ascend to power despite being fought by the system. Why is he being fought by the system? So many answers I need from there. It's crazy. Karibu sana Kit, I see you in the building. Saying that not the balloon Bailey. That's so. Come on, look at Uhuru Kenyatta right now. When Uhuru Kenyatta got into power, when he became the president, this guy was skinny. Let me just. I can pull up the pictures. We don't need to do much. I'll pull up the pictures before we finish. You'll see the difference. These people always come out of the seat when their bellies are full. It's like they've been 10 months and 9 years pregnant. Yeah, drinking moonshine and all types of bullshit, shenanigans and all that. Cassius Williams Karibu Sana is saying that the Negro is that black bootlick of the Jim Clyburn and the rest of them in the US, and we as black people globally have representations. I didn't get that clearly, but anyway, thanks for tuning in. We do have we have no representation. That is one thing I know. As black people globally, we have no representation. It's like what we were talking about yesterday on the Africa Today show about the New York City Mayor Adams. No representation. These people, all they do is just talk. And like I said, personally, when they talk, I don't know what type of mentality I can tell you I see in these people. They don't analyze nothing. They just talk. They just talk. If it's not reading what is written for them to talk about, if they're told to give their freedom, their thoughts of mind, like, just like that without any paper, they talk nonsense. Yes, I get that, kid. Yeah, I got it. African people have no representation globally. It's true. That's how I'm referring. If you look at what you see in our screen, and most of the previous presidents, and so many to come probably before Africa takes its own power back, all they do talk. They how should I say? They degrade the African image, the rest of the African images. We seem like them, or people who just want to follow every rule that they are told to do. We're just people who cannot be able to apply solutions. All you can do is talk. Where people can turn away easily against each other. That's what they represent. And KJ is saying that the black community is on the is on a dire straits with black bootlegs continue to sell out. I agree with you. They continue to do that. Let me share.
We need to work together to create wealth. And we must eliminate the barriers, the hurdles. Our borders must not be walls. We must turn our borders from being hurdles.
Babes, but you can't imagine. You can't. You know why? Because you were just in Israel the other day. And I bet you went to listen to what your master was telling you. Apart from telling us how holy you are, bowing on a wall, God knows what that symbol literally means. According to what Keith explained yesterday, that is those are you are not just there to show us you can pray. It's just crazy. Let me finish up.
To being bridges, we must turn our borders from being hurdles to being facilitative so that we can do trade, we can do business, we can make investment, and we can move people, goods, and services freely in our continent.
For your own benefit. At this point, what happens is always for your own benefit and the Europeans' benefit. As I finish up, let me share Kwame Nkrumah's video. He was calling for the African unity as well. This is a video I was looking at, and I loved what he said. Because what is it going to take for Africa to become as a whole again? Because personally, like I said, you can't literally be able to get rid of the borders without first dealing with the small problems you have in your own country. Because if you look at most of the African countries are so destroyed. You as puppets, you need to fix that, like we can see Kagame doing. Fix that. Once you're able to do that, develop Africa in each country, now call off for the break off the borders. First, educate even the children. We need to, as they go in each, now after getting rid of the borders, you know, at this point, children need to have known one language, which is going to be understood by the rest of the people in the world. We speak in Swahili, not Igbo, not Borana, not Kikuyu, not Luo, not Kamba, not Kalenjin. One common language. It's going to be easy for us to interact. But you can't get rid of the borders like that while you still have Nigerians coming here and telling you Ashawo and all types of things they want to tell you. What is that if I don't understand what is Ashawo? What am I supposed to? I'm going to be laughing, definitely, like Katie. Katie didn't know what Ashawo meant. She was just saying the word out of the blues, and I'm like, do you know what you're saying? Atimkani, what does it mean? I'm like, are you sure? Do you know what you're saying? Or you're just shouting because you hear words on, you know, this Nigerian people just saying it. She thought it was something else funny. I don't know what I can't remember the whole thing. When she discovered, she was like, oh my God, are you kidding? Nah, that is what it means. So, come on. We can't be able to deal. You can't call for Pan-Africanism. You can't call for the unity of Africa if you can't be able to educate your people first. Literally, educate your people the real history. And this way, it's going to be easy for us to connect. If I'm able to move now to Nigeria without the border being there, we're going to talk with my fellow brothers, Swahili, and educate each other's history and realize that we were all one people. It was just the white man's effect. You can't talk with no solution, you know? Dance to the beat, like I said, you know?
What are we looking for, Africa? Are we looking for mere charters conceived in the light of the United Nations example? A type of United Nations organization whose decisions are framed
The United Nations. We know this is not even, we always see the UN, the AU. They ain't here to help us. All these organizations that have been created, still in the favor of the white man. Why can't we have anything African? Anything done by the African people?
On the basis of resolutions that in our experience have sometimes been ignored by member states, where groupings are formed and pressure developed in accordance with the interests of the groups concerned? Or is it intended that Africa should be turned into a loose organization of states on the model of the organization of the American states, in which the weaker states within it can be at the mercy of the stronger or more powerful ones, politically and economically, and all at the mercy of some powerful outside nation or group of nations? Your Excellencies, is this the kind of association we want for ourselves? In the United Africa we all speak of with such feeling and emotion? Your Excellencies, permit me to ask, is this the kind of framework we desire for a united Africa? An arrangement which in future would permit Ghana or Nigeria or the Sudan or Liberia or Egypt or Ethiopia, for example, to use pressure with either superior economic or political influence gives to decide the flow and direction of trade, say from Burundi or Togo or Nyasaland to Mozambique and Madagascar? We all want a united Africa. United not only in our concept of what unity connotes, but united in our common desire to move forward together in dealing with all the problems that...
Exactly, because even if I'm to to go ask Ruto or Uhuru Kenyatta why they were calling for the literally why African countries need to get rid of the borders. Yes, speak about trading and everything, but no, we don't need only that. We need to grow as African. This is where we need to get now. When we're uniting, teaching people unity, we have each individual's back. Like, you wake up, you're willing to help your African neighbor because there's no that this tribe. No, I can't talk to this tribe because this is this tribe. No, at this point, we're Africans. And we're going to be able to come up with different ideas to make our continent develop, get control of our resources, come up with ideas, build manufacturing industry, create so many factories and so many, like be able to produce everything on our own, make money out of it, real money, generate wealth, generation to generation, because nobody's begging now. It's a one continent which understands what they need, what serves them best, and who they are. Not confused people, because if you look at Africa today, people are confused.
Can best be solved only on a continental basis. So when the first Congress of the United States met many years ago at Philadelphia, one of the delegates sounded the first chord of unity by declaring that they had met in a state of nature. In other words, they were not in Philadelphia as Virginians or Pennsylvanians, but simply as Americans. This reference to themselves as Americans was in those days a new and strange experience.
But anyway, I won't finish the whole of the video right here. I think if you want me to share it with you on the social network or maybe on WhatsApp, kindly let me know. That was just, I wanted to share the first few parts of it because it's just generally talking about unity, and which is what personally I'm also talking about. We need to call for unity of Africa and Africans. And when I start by Africans, we need to start within our own countries before we get to approach other countries and tell them of why we need unity. Before we educate others why we need unity. Change the system of education, change the system of all these hospitals, the schools, the offices, all these government offices, how they work and apply rules that work for Africans and set up examples of who does not comply with the rules, show an example of what is the consequences of it. Execution, if possible, or a life sentence where you're going to rot in prison. No mercy, no bribing, no bailouts. You do a mistake, it's a mistake. You serve by example so that the rest can follow. You need to be as strict as much as possible. If we really need to straighten up Africa, we can't keep on hesitating in our voices. You want to make a decision, but you're hesitating. Be straightforward. Be straightforward. And you have no idea how good it feels if you are straightforward. Being able to stand in confidence and claim what you want or who you are, it is so amazing. And I'm speaking this from experience and still with experience. Still experiences. Never stop learning. I'm learning every day. Every single day. We need to stand up by our own feet. Can't be still having masters telling you I need to stand you on one feet. You need to see if you can balance or not. Trying to measure your brains. Why can't you trust yourself? Why do you need validations from the white men to be able to become successful? And even to the African people, because most of us have this. You need to seek validation from the white people so that you can feel you are the top of the world. Why can't you see yourself on the top of the world without anybody's help? If it is not your own fellow African? Why can't you see opportunities within each other as African people without having to go touch some lies and some balls that have lies? Oh my God, I was shocked about this, that these people have lies even in their pubic hair. It's still crazy. Like, oh, you, like, can never be me. It can never be me. It can never. I'd rather struggle with my African man, my cute African man. I'd rather. But no, I'm not calling for any struggling man. No. But I come loaded. But anyway, family, I'll wrap it up there with the show of today. Sorry for the hitches with the connectivity. And of course, I hope we're not going to be having this like yesterday. We've been having this from yesterday. Electricity, connection, it's all on and off. You know, the electricity and the internet, they're all going on and off. But we hope that we're going to be with you till the end of the day. And of course, see what is going on in other situations regarding other discussions we shall be having. See you guys on the Rhythm Scoop Show. This has been the Pan-African Bliss. And thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in. This is the Black on Fire Network radio station, media for the 21st century. And of course, it's all about listening, engaging, and transforming. And one most special thing about this platform, unity. Being one people as African people, no matter where you are. You see me walking on the road, I'm starving. Don't come tell me, oh, why are you begging? Why don't you have $2 to buy food? Come on, help a brother, help a sister. It is always good, but don't allow people to take advantage of yourself because of your good heart. Sometimes toughen up. People always take advantage of you also as well. And that's one thing I've learned in life. When you're too good to people, they take advantage of that. So be very careful also. Like, be very careful who you call your friends, who you call, your love. I don't know. Be just very careful. That is everything. But the most important thing, and I was telling also a friend today, trust in yourself. Don't even doubt anything or any step you take. Trust yourself. Sometimes the risks you take, they might take you on a bad ditch or some difficulties, ups and downs within it, but still put in your mind onto what you really want and your goal. Trust me, you don't even know how paths or even, you don't even know how doors open. They just come like, hallelujah. The seeking isn't exactly 100% because 100% job, because you have everything in Africa that you need to succeed. Exactly. And that's why I was giving my quote of the day today. And I said, with my quote of the day, I am stepping into the most successful decade of my life. And when I began the show, I said today I feel so positive, so vibrant. I don't know. I just feel personally My life is just gonna be something that I never imagined, the way, more than literally the way I imagine. And that is what I'm speaking to myself, within myself. I'm speaking nothing but just the highest of myself. And that is what we should do. African people, our vibrations have been lowered to the point of even looking at ourselves like poor people. No matter where you are, lie to me. How many of you wake up and you're like, when am I gonna make it? You're gonna make it. Just trust yourself. Don't just sleep waiting on Jesus to come help you. Do something. And your effort is only seen by the universe, and help always comes along the way. And that is my show of today. And I say it is saying that's why the CIA got rid of is us in Ghana, talking to that African unity. Exactly. They always do that. Look at Magufuli. Also saying exactly 100% Joby. And damn not the public. No, not the pubic hair, man. Much love. Much love. I tell you, not the pubic hair, because where we? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. I don't want to say something crazy. So, peace. Thank you so much for tuning in. Pull up the Benz and hot stuff Sultana. In a beam, images of foreign marijuana. Pull up the Benz and hot stuff Sultana.